This thing's been talked about for a long time. You can go back, like there's articles about it, like back in the early 2000s. And I think like many things, not just in sport and society in general, over time, it's like the fish story, right? It gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So there became more emphasis on this. And while it's important that people are paying attention to what you're supposed to do as a pitcher, it's more important to understand the why, like why you want to do this. As we know, Kevin, there is a natural hip and shoulder separation. It's called the sequencing of the kinetic chain.
Right.
I was actually looking up a study earlier, Kevin, and it talked about how there's like this sweet spot in terms of velocity, it really, and in health. And that's the problem, right? So the problem is you take something that is a thing like hip to shoulder separation, right? Which is, your hip is going to go before your shoulder naturally, right? And then you think, okay, well, if that's what we have to do, then, hey, let's do it more. Let's make it bigger. Let's make the separation, because that must equal,
right?
Yeah, that must equal velocity. And it's simply not true. It's going to decrease your velocity, A, and B, it's going to put tremendous pressure on the throwing arm. In fact, one of the biggest differeces, reading some of these articles, they say between professional pitchers